Hello, everybody. It's Ice. Hey, Kane is out traveling, but definitely keep you in our prayers, brother. Be safe. Enjoy out there. So I'm about to be joined by our frat brother, Mr. Glass of Get With It Sports. So check out the show. We're going to talk some NFL draft, some random thoughts, starting at the top of the draft board. So I hope you enjoy. Make sure you subscribe. And also, leave some feedback, leave some comments with your thoughts, or hit us up on Twitter with your thoughts. And join us tonight as we live tweet the draft. All right.
Just I strolled without a care, cause I'm going down the road to a brand new place, and I'll get there with a smile on my face. Yeah, so lift me up, I'm moving on, singing and dancing while I play.
All right. Hey, what's going on? It's your man Ice, of course, with Glass. Glass goes in, ice goes in glass, so I guess we belong together. So, we're coming at you to talk a little bit of NFL draft. Big shout out to my man Kane, enjoying Jamaica. Big things happening in his life, so congratulations. We'll get more into that when he gets back to the United States, if the president allows him to come back. So, all right. So, Glass, man, how things going, brother?
Well, you know what? Everything's good till it got cold again back here in the Shy.
Oh,
I'm kind of jealous of Kane out there catching some R&R, but I'm holding it down on this end. So yeah, it's all good.
Okay. Now, you say cold. What sort of temperature are we talking?
Man, we talking about 40.
Ooh.
It was just 75 yesterday.
Dang.
Yeah.
Okay. So not only cold, but like a shocking kind of.
Right. Like, what just happened?
Right. That's kind of weather gets you sick.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right. I have to check on my in-laws. They live in Chicago, so we're
okay.
should say. And I guess it's gotten a little cooler here in Charlotte, but
What is your cool?
Well, it was down to high was like 58. And the day before it was like 80. So it was. Not
I'll
as
trade you.
extreme, and we don't have the wind that you guys have off the lake and all that stuff. So, but the real focus is my hometown of Philadelphia. Shout out. As the draft starts tonight, first round, first time in Philly, or at least first time I can remember it being in Philadelphia. So let's start at the top. Number one. This is the one time of year the Browns are number one. A lot of speculation. Of course, they have number 1 and number 12, and we know they've got a ton of picks, ton of ammunition. What do you expect them to do with that first pick?
What I would do is get Myles Garrett number 1, because you already got a number 12 pick. Use the number 12 pick to get a quarterback that you think you need. And I think they have the 33rd pick. First and second round, so they got enough. It's spaced out well.
They got a lot of ammunition.
Exactly. So I don't know. Before, all right, I'm gonna let you know. Myles Garrett number 1, quarterback number 12, and offensive lineman with the 33rd pick. What you got?
I guess it depends on how in love are you with one of the quarterbacks, right? Like, if you think this dude is better than anybody this year and next year, then I think I would. I don't think I'd draft. I'm a little afraid of Garrett because keep hearing all these people talk about his effort level and that type of thing.
I got you.
And if it was like another, well, I guess any team that has number one pick, you probably have a losing culture. But in Cleveland, it's so extreme that I think you need guys who are effort guys. Even though they might not be, their ceiling may not be as high as Garrett, or they may not be as athletic. I think you just need a solid guy who you can just plug in there, play, and you know he's going to come to work every day and set an example because the team is going to have so many young players. Because last year they had, 14 picks, and every pick made the team. They got a ton of picks this year. They're probably all going to make the team, or most of them. You know, it's going to be a lot of young dudes. So you're trying to, just get all these young guys in and see who sticks.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I might look at like Jamal Adams or Foster or, somebody like, especially those guys from Alabama that come from that sort of it's almost like the Patriots in college type culture of Alabama. And I think Saban and Belichick even worked together in the past. So I guess that shouldn't be surprising. I'm just scared of Garrett because, especially after what Warren Sapp said, which I know some of that might have been hyperbole, but I definitely think there's probably some truth in what he's seeing.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd just be a little afraid. I think I would try to get Deshaun Watson with that second pick, or if I need to trade up a little bit, I'm not sold on Trubisky as like the guy because he hasn't played a lot, and I'm a little afraid if he goes somewhere like Cleveland, he's going to be rushed out there and then his career is just going to fall apart. Where maybe somewhere like Arizona might be better for him where he could sit a little bit and then play, I don't know.
I agree with you what you said about Myles Garrett. I'm not 100% sure about him also, but he got the upside, you know what I'm saying? As long as you don't pick him as your team leader, if you don't expect him to be a leader but to just be an asset, I could work with that. I agree with you. With Jonathan Allen, Derek Barnett from Tennessee, I can see them moving up to the number one pick, but I'm not a combine person. A lot of people been doing great in the combine. They ain't do crap when they get in the NFL. And that could happen with Myles Garrett, but it's just so much upside to Myles Garrett. You can't pass that up.
Right.
Now, let me agree with you what you just said about the number one quarterback. You tell me, because I'm trying to understand how Mitchell Trubisky moves up to be a number one quarterback to be picked when he only played 13 games and he played at North Carolina. No disrespect. He played at North Carolina, ACC. When you got Deshaun Watson, who been to the title game twice, back-to-back years, against Alabama, what you just said, has a defense that's NFL ready. First time he went up there with him, he passed for 405 yards. I think he ran for 73 the first time. He basically put the team on his back this year and won the national championship. So to me, it's okay.
Again,
analytics, throw that out the window.
On that field against him.
Exactly. Analytics, throw that out the window. I'm going by I'm a Dalton Thomas. I can hear what you tell me, but I've seen what I've seen the last 2 years. You know what I'm saying? So Trubisky would probably be the third or fourth pick for me. How do you move up to number one? I explain that to me.
I think some of it is almost NFL is becoming more like basketball and drafting on potential, which I guess, you're always sort of drafting on potential, but there definitely seems to be more focus on that now, and potential seems to be moving into the first round, whereas in previous years, guys who hadn't played a lot but had a ton of potential be second or third round picks. Now, I think with that rookie wage scale, I think teams are more likely to take risk on upside because it's not going to cost them, $80 million, right, if this dude busts like it would have in the past. And don't get wrong, I think Trubisky probably can be a very good professional quarterback one day, but you know, we both heard of the rule of 10,000, right? You have to spend 20 hours doing something to be great at it, and he just hadn't had the reps, particularly in games, to back up going somewhere like Cleveland where there's no established starter in front of you. So you're probably going to be the guy, and you know, and you're playing on a team that's depleted. So normally that ends up with a guy burning out of the league, and then he's a backup in 3 years or 4 years, you know, in San Francisco or Tampa Bay or somewhere, you know. And so my concern would be just ruining his career. Now, of course, I guess the brain trust in Cleveland don't think we're ruining somebody's career, but history's shown they do, right? So
Right.
I don't know. Like I said, I would like to see him go somewhere where he could sit a little bit. Even if, like, I mean, this might sound outrageous to some people. Let's just say he dropped and went somewhere like the Giants, right? Where, you know, Eli's the guy, but Eli's been in the league, 13 years or whatever?
Right.
So there's only so much time left. You sit for a couple of years, learn under somebody who's been doing it at a high level, and then you take over the reins and be the guy. You know, kind of like Garoppolo in New England, right? Or at least what we think they're doing with Garoppolo. So I don't know. Watson. I would definitely go Watson. First off, if I'm Cleveland and I was looking for a quarterback this year, I would have to think I want somebody who is used to escaping trouble in traffic, because we don't have, you know, our team in line and, you know, wide receivers and our stuff really isn't settled. Everything on the offensive side is kind of jumbled with them. So I think Watson athleticism could help you in the meantime until you get those things settled and you can have more of a traditional set offense. But I don't know, you know, and obviously I'm not in these rooms to make multi-million-dollar decisions. But if anybody wants to hire me, you know, I'm available. DM me up on, you know, in the messages under this, whatever, you know. I'll put our Twitter accounts up on the screens. You can hit me up, you know, and I'll be glad to consult with you at a discounted rate. All right, so let's go to your town, Chicago, man. What do you expect those Bears to do?
Oh man, I would love for them to go with Deshaun Watson, but we already paid millions of dollars to the Scarecrow, aka. Okay, I'm leaving Mike Glennon. I'm leaving him alone.
Right. Paid millions of dollars did the guy Jameis replaced, and then backed him up. Right.
His rookie year, right? Okay. I can see. I heard rumors about Jonathan Allen.
That'd be a great pick.
Jamal. I take Jamal Adams. We need help in the secondary from LSU, but right now I'm hearing Jonathan Allen, so that's a good look. You know.
Yeah, well, and I can see secondary help because you got to figure you're playing against Aaron Rodgers twice a year for the next, you know, 4 or 5 years, right? At a high level, she should be. Yeah, I can definitely see that pick. And just the way the game is going, right? More passing, safeties have to cover the slot more, or tight ends, you know, aren't your traditional tight ends anymore, you know, so you need an athletic safety who's versatile. So I could see that because, you know, that's a guy that, you know, for the next 7 or 8 years, you're that position set on your defense.
Right.
Yeah. You know, and John Fox, right? Defensive coach.
Don't let me start over here, though. Yeah.
I heard Fournette might be your pick.
No, I'm cool with Howard as the running back we have.
I was like, maybe that's just smoke screen or, you know, hyperbole, or, you know, maybe his agent's throwing something out there. I just can't see going that high, pick a running back.
Exactly. I totally agree. You could get a running back in the second, third round that's you know, quality. And like I said, we got Howard already, so we don't actually need to throw anybody in there right now.
Right. Like, right. Why would you pick a running back this high, especially in a running back deep draft when you have so many other needs?
Right. Exactly.
And well, speaking of which, all right. So let's break it down. You got a lot of running backs out there with a lot of headlines. If you had to rank the top 3 running backs in the draft, which of course I guess the names that come up the most: Fournette, McCaffrey, Cook.
Mm-hmm.
Where would you rank them?
It might be a biased opinion because his old man was a wide receiver to my beloved Broncos, but I have to go with Christian McCaffrey first because he's more versatile. He can catch, He can run, he can do whatever you need to be in block. See, and that's the key, being a blocking running back.
Yeah.
I don't know if Fournette could do that right now. I haven't seen that, And plus, Fournette get injury prone real. He get injured a lot. Put it like that.
Right.
So I'll go McCaffrey, Cook, and then Fournette.
Gotcha.
And then let's not forget, what's his name? Joe Mixon.
Yeah.
I know he had off the court problems, but I can look over that real quick.
Well, and I'm glad you mentioned that because, a friend of mine and I, we've talked a lot about this. Now, I follow SEC mostly, so I'm familiar with Mixon.
Mm-hmm.
A whole lot. I mean, I know about the incident. I don't know everything. I keep hearing there are other incidents in his past. I'm not aware of those. But as far as what we saw on tape from 3-4 years ago,
mm-hmm.
When he was probably 18 or 19, I'm guessing.
Right.
And don't get wrong. Of course, it was wrong. It was an assault. It was overreaction, uncalled for, whatever you want to call it. But we can't put him in a category with guys who abuse their partners. You know what I mean? To me, that's
Greg Hardy
situation, because if you abuse your partner, your wife, your girlfriend, whatever, it's a situation you're constantly in.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Is being with your wife or girlfriend, right? Particularly if you live together. Whereas he was out of the bar, obviously, maybe had too much. I don't know what led up to it, but obviously he overreacted, slugged somebody. No, that's not right. But is it the same thing as abusing your wife or girlfriend? To me, it's not.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Now, the person he hit happened to be female, so of course it elevates to another level, and you can throw in the woman abusing brand on it, I guess. But
domestic violence, right?
Right, but to me, that's not. When I think of domestic violence, domestic part to me means it happened at your house. You know what I mean?
Right.
Maybe I'm missing something, but so I guess what I'm trying to say is, and as an adult, it's easy for me to look back. Do I want the absolute worst moment of my teenage years to define my character? I don't, but lucky for me, it wasn't on tape, right? Whatever crazy things I did back in the day weren't on tape. And most of our generation, that's not the case. But this generation, it is, unfortunately, for them. And he's already paid the price. He sat out a season at college. He's going to pay a price with where he gets drafted, which means his salary for the next 3 or 4 years is going to be suppressed because of this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's all that to say. If my team drafted him, now are there other incidents and other things I don't know about? Possibly. So if y'all know about that, forgive me. I'll take the angry tweets or whatever. I just don't know. But if the only thing is what we saw on that tape, given the time, and I'm sure these teams are asking about it, and if you feel comfortable talking to him as a man and what he has to say about it, then if the Eagles draft him, I'm not going to be bent out of shape about it because of something that happened when he was 18 or 19 that he's already paid the price for. And if he hasn't had any incident since then, that shows me he's learned something.
Right.
You know?
I totally agree with you. If the incident happened like right now, then yes, I would put up flags and everything. But just like you said, it happened 2-3 years ago. Since then, he seems contrite about the whole situation. He met up with the victim about a month or two ago, hashed it all out. They cool, you know what I'm saying? So it's like he's making the effort to make his, to clear his name.
Gotcha.
So make it possible to put it in a positive light, put it like that. So, and like you said, he was suspended for a year. Like I say, he went to counseling. He met up with the young lady a month ago. So my thing is this, you know what? I understand you want to pound the flesh, but like, okay, he did everything he's supposed to do. What else do you want? There ain't nothing left to do. You know what I'm saying? So, I understand when he gets drafted by whoever team it is, they might have a little backlash from the fans or whoever, from the domestic abuse prevention party, whatever you want to say.
Right.
I got all that, but you could, if you got the team that could get through that, go ahead and draft him. Just gotta give the man a chance. I'm all about second chances. You know what I'm saying? If the man seems to clear his name and make everything right, then go ahead and get him. The guy from Kansas City, the wide receiver. Punched his pregnant. Was she pregnant at the time?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, he's doing well in Kansas City. It seemed like, I ain't gonna say bygones are bygones, but they seem to be all right with it. So I can see the same thing happening with Joe Mixon. If he does his thing, keep his nose clean, he good.
And I think, it's easier for him to avoid being isolated in a bar situation that can turn violent than it would be for a guy who, has a tendency to abuse his partner. You know what I mean? Like, to me, I just hate when he keeps getting lumped in with people who've beat up their girlfriends or wives. Because to me, what he did was totally different and almost disservice to the victim in a way. But, back to the question about ranking running backs. With Fournette, I think, and watching a ton of SEC, a lot of times, and based on the offense they ran and stuff under Les Miles, a lot of times Fournette was just running into a wall. And so I think his body is just going to be more beaten than the average guy coming in.
Mm-hmm.
And I think his style, now don't get wrong, I think he can be effective. I just don't know if he can be effective for like 4 or 5 years.
Exactly.
He might be effective for 2 years and then be one of those guys that drops off.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I wonder, does he have enough wiggle? Because we all thought Trent Richardson was going to be, the end-all, be-all, and we see what happened with him, right?
Mm-hmm.
I can see him going that route. I love Dalvin Cook, I guess, as an Eagles fan with our coach come from Kansas City. I can easily see Dalvin Cook doing the same things that Charles did in Kansas City, right? And
Mm-hmm.
type of numbers. And you know what I mean? Like, just the way they move remind me of each other. Like, I could just see Cook, picturing him in Charles' role in Philly. But, I keep reading about shoulder issues and possible bad friends. And, I'm not so much worried about friends so much because, he'd be leaving Florida, coming to Philadelphia. So I think that creates some separation. But I'd love to have Dalvin Cook if his shoulder's all right. But McCaffrey, man, I mean, I just think that dude is like, I think he'd be like a faster Brian Westbrook. You know what I mean? And
Good
I think,
comparison.
I don't even know if he'll last to Philadelphia. But if he does at 14, man, because he could go in the slot. He could go in the backfield. He obviously catch the ball in the backfield. I think he could run the ball 10, 15 times a game without a problem, especially like now most teams spread out. What linebacker or safety is going to match up with him?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Totally agree.
He's just going to make the game so much easier on everybody else, I think. And in Philly, you got Ryan Matthews. He could be your battering ram. I mean, people keep saying, well, he can't He's not being short yardage back. So, like, you know what I mean? There's a reason you got 3 or 4 running backs, right?
Exactly.
I don't know. But
yeah. But you know what? Leonard Fournette, I agree with everything you said. He will fit in a 2-back system. Not every down back, but as a 3rd down back. You know what I'm saying? So if he, I don't know what system. I'm looking.
Well, here in Charlotte, there are a lot of rumors that the Panthers are really high on him. Which, you know, that would make sense to me because, like, last few years, Cam Newton has been the Panthers' short yardage runner.
Exactly.
And if anything, they should have learned last year, you got to stop doing that. You got to stop doing that. I mean, I know it helps him put up these ridiculous rushing touchdown numbers, and you know what your boys did to him last year, right? I don't think he ever quite recovered from that at opening night, you know, headhunt they put on him. You know, and I think it got in his mind too. You know, so I definitely think somebody like Fournette could help lengthen Cam's career. Because Panthers they like to slam the ball in there, but you know, you can't keep doing that with your $100 million quarterback, you know?
Exactly.
And they are committed to running the ball, which Fournette is going to be effective, he's going to need a team that's committed to running the ball. Not like if things start rolling and we keep running. No, he needs a team that, hey, if we're only getting 2 yards to carry, you know what, we're going to keep hanging this thing, and then eventually he'll break one, you know? And that's what he needs, I think, for him to reach his potential as a player. And I don't see him having a huge window. So he needs a team that's going to let him come in and do his thing, you know, early on. But anyway, we got to close this thing out, brother. Why don't you tell everybody where to find you? Tell them about your shows. I know you're on SoundCloud and you're on YouTube. So I'm going to let you take it away.
I appreciate it, man. Appreciate having me on, man. I'm Glass from Get With It Sports, place where you get your sports the way you want it. You can check me out on Twitter at Get With It Sports. Check out the blog page at getwithitsports.wordpress.com. You can check out our podcast, 2 Cent Deposit on Sports, on Spreaker, Spreaker, or on SoundCloud. We got, like I said, when the NFL starts again, we have our NFL weekly picks along with the 2 Cent Deposit. So catch us there. And you need to contact me. You can contact me via email at getwithitsports2. That's the number 2 at gmail.com.
All right. So we're gonna put your Twitter account up on the screen. So everybody, make sure you follow him on Twitter. Hey, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up. Leave us some comments. Tell us what you think. And tune in tonight. I'm sure we'll both be live tweeting this draft. So I'm gonna be hollering at you. You better respond.
Will do.
All right. And Steph Curry for MVP. Now,
let's not even start that.
All right, Glass, brother. You know I love you, man. Hey,
love you, bro.
Have a good one, man. Enjoy it tonight.
Will do.